Good morning. Good morning, Julie and Charlene and Nikki, and Leah, Nancy, and too many names for me to greet everyone, but how wonderful it is to see everybody's names and where you're tuning in from, Jerry and Sheila and Myrna. And what I really enjoy is that some people I see every morning. There's Kent, Sid, and Christine. And it's like taking roll call. I sometimes want to say, check, yes, Helen is here, Peggy is here. But some of us show up later on in the day when it's more convenient, and that's why we leave the recordings online. Indeed, it's on the Facebook page and on YouTube channel all the time. This is our 6 a.m. at Pacific time moment of devotion, spiritual practice. Really, we're using 365 Science of Mind, a year of daily wisdom from Ernest Holmes. And this morning's reading is treating for others. Treating is the word we use for affirmative prayer, spiritual mind treatment. So giving a spiritual mind treatment for other people, how do we do that? That's what the topic is about today, and it's quite helpful. People ask how can they do a spiritual mind treatment, an affirmative prayer, and help other people, and how their prayer or their treatment reaches the other person. Now, the method or the technique of giving the treatment is no different from one that you do for yourself. When you treat for yourself, what you're doing is you're affirming the spiritual truth about yourself. When you treat for another person, you're doing the same thing. You're stating, affirming the spiritual truth about that person. So it's the same procedure. And the only thing that you have to do is identify the person or the situation that you are treating about. That's what we've been doing recently. When I say, think of someone that you'd like to treat about, to take into the prayer, and just type their initials into the chat box, or the nation or the situation. And you could even put next to the name the quality of their spiritual truth that you're focusing on. Now, you're doing this for yourself. That's what I'm doing it for. It's not like I've just put a stamp on a letter and it's now going to get to the right place. This is purely for my own purpose, so that I know, of course I know, I'm making a point of it, that this treatment I'm doing is for my loved one. You ought never to worry how your thought gets to the other person, because it does not have to go anywhere. Every person is already in the middle of the heart of creation, the mind of God. So the whole action of your prayer takes place inside of you, inside your own consciousness. So we're not sending prayers anywhere, not sending prayers to Ukraine, or not sending prayers to friends. We're knowing the spiritual truth about them right here, because in a way of speaking, here is everywhere. So then let's do that. I see you've already begun. Put the name down, her initials, the situation, and the quality. I like to write it down myself because it then lets me let go of it. Because your treatment produces results according to your faith and conviction. Now, I would change that to say your treatment produces results according to the clarity and trust that you have in the process. So then let us each in our own way take a moment and silently state what you may have already typed in the chat box. I just say it like this: this treatment is for Ukraine and the people and the first responders, and those who help. And having said that, let each one of us now turn to our current best understanding of the living spirit, the divine, taking a moment to describe it, knowing that it's an infinite topic that can never be contained in a series of words or description, cannot be confined to any set of qualities. It must be beyond and inclusive. The living spirit, the all in all, the everywhere present power, the love of the universe, the creative mind, the source of all stability, the source of all peace, the source of all joy, the source of all vibrancy and wholeness, the source of all that is, that living spirit. Here where I am, in and through my mind, in my thoughts, in this prayer of mine, this that I understand about me, I understand about all beings, and in particular the one or the situation I have identified this treatment with. And so I turn my attention then to describe the spiritual truth. And in this case, I will speak generically, and please adapt the words for your own use. That power which creates all is creating the wholeness in this personal situation that I am talking about all the time. It is doing what it always does. And I am recognizing it and bringing it into my awareness that its action and activity always continues, always does what it always has done. There is nothing in me that impedes or inhibits its action or flow. I'm in full agreement that the wholeness of the universe not only is mine, but it is either this person or this situation that I have identified my treatment with. And so I sit in calm confidence, letting this awareness accompany me through the rest of the day, so that each time my thought goes to my friend, loved one, or situation, my thinking is accompanied by a sense of wholeness and peace. I release this word into the law, that aspect of the divine we call the law, is a way of confirming my trust in the process of how things work. In deepest gratitude, I let it be, and so it is. At the bottom of the reading today, there is a quote from Psalm 139, one of the most famous psalms about the immanence and the presence of the divine. And it's well worth reading for a meditation of its own. I share with you, as a way of closing our time together, The New Living Translation. O Lord, speaking about the divine presence, you have examined my heart and you know everything about me. You know when I sit down or stand up. You know my thoughts even when I'm far away. You see me when I travel and when I rest at home. You know everything I do. You know what I'm going to say even before I say it. You go before me and you follow me. You place your hand of blessing on my head. This is so wonderful for me to know. It's even greater than what I can understand. I can never escape from your spirit. I can never get away from your presence. If I go up to heaven, you're there. If I go down to the earth, you're there. If I ride the wings of the morning, or if I live in the depths of the ocean, even there, your hand will guide me and your strength will support me. I could even ask the darkness to hide me, and so that the light became like nighttime. But even in that darkness, I cannot hide from you. To you, the night shines as bright as day. Darkness and the light are the same to you. You made all the delicate inner parts of my body and knit me together in my mother's womb. Thank you for making me so wonderfully complex. Your skill is marvelous. I know this well. You watched me as I was being formed in utter seclusion, as I was woven together in the dark of the womb. You saw me before I was born. Every day of my life was recorded in your book. Every moment was laid out before a single one had even passed. How precious these thoughts, your thoughts about me, how precious they are. They cannot be numbered. I can't count them. They outnumber grains of sand. And when I wake up, you are still with me. Search me, O Divine One, and know my heart. Test me and know even my anxious thoughts. Point out anything in me that offends and lead me into the path of whole living. That's Psalm 139 in the New Living Translation. And if you know that psalm, you know that I skipped over verses 19 through 22. And because the psalmist has a little emotional breakdown, and it's quite wonderful to read. He's done all of this beautiful connection with the divine, and he goes into his humanness there and wraps it up with saying to the divine, know my anxious thoughts also. They're part of me. It's part of who I am, and it's okay. So I offer that to you, that even when you're doing treatment for other people today, for Ukraine or the world, that if you have moments of anxiety or unclarity, it's okay. Take a breath, feel the feeling, write it down, journal about it, and then start again. It's my pleasure to be with you every day, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Thank you, everyone who shares these posts. I love to see that also. I'll see you again tomorrow.